Hi everybody, today I am talking about people pleasing. It is something that a lot of people struggle with or have struggled with. And then again, there's people that do not struggle with this. So if that is you, this is not the video for you. But for people that do struggle with this, I'm just gonna go over some things that you can keep in mind just to kind of help you out, just something for you to think about. So the first thing that we should know is that it's okay to want people to like you. I feel like it's very natural to want to be liked, okay? But we also need to keep in mind that not everybody is going to like us, and that is okay. And when you think about it, you actually don't like everyone. So you can't expect everyone to like you. Everybody has their own flavor of people that they like. Some people they're naturally drawn to shy, quiet people with kind personalities. Some people are drawn to louder people who are outspoken and more outgoing and so forth, okay? Nothing wrong with either one. It's just people have their own preferences. And some people are turned off by people that they find quiet and shy. Some people are turned off by people that are extremely loud. And that's okay. It doesn't mean that there's something wrong with those people. It's just not for that person. It's just like food, right? We all have food preferences. I personally love chocolate. Now, every now and then I come across somebody that does not like chocolate. And every time I hear this, I am shocked, right? It's like, wow, you know. But anyways, nothing wrong with the chocolate. It's just not for that person. Chocolate is still chocolate, and there's gonna be a lot of people that like it, but then every now and then there's gonna be a couple people that don't. And you essentially are chocolate, okay? Or replace chocolate with whatever your favorite food is, okay? There's people that's gonna like you, and there's some people that aren't, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with the dish itself, there's just something wrong with those people. The next thing we should consider when it comes to people pleasing is making sure that we're living for ourselves and not for other people. So when you live for acceptance from others, every time you get rejected, you're going to end up unhappy. And you don't want other people to have control over your well-being. You have to know your intentions when you do stuff. And if your intentions were good and somebody didn't accept that, that's on them and not you. Remind yourself of who you are and what your intentions were, and just stay grounded with that. We can't let our temperament, our mood, our feelings be dictated by others. Another thing, a lot of times when we people please, we avoid telling people the truth. And this is not good for ourselves or for that other person. And the intention with avoiding the truth, sometimes we do this so we don't hurt people's feelings. And it's not good because we're not being honest with ourselves or that person. Something might be bothering us and we're not expressing it to that person. And when we don't express it to them, they'll never know. So we can be mirrors for other people. We can show them things that they might not even be aware of. So the longer you avoid telling this person about it, the longer they're gonna keep doing it. And maybe it's an issue to other people and they're not telling them about it either. You might be the one person that can hold that mirror up to that person to let them know about themselves. And it's up to that person as to whether they want to change or not. And I'm not saying when you confront people you need to be rude about it or anything. There's ways to tactfully explain things to people in a respectful manner. And when you do that, that person can either accept it or they won't. But regardless, your intentions were good and how they take it is on them. Another tendency that people pleasers tend to have is overexerting themselves. We care a lot about other people and we constantly want to do for other people and help out when we can, but it can get to the point where you overexert yourself, which is not good. And I love a good analogy, so of course I'm going to use an analogy. So think of a car. Cars need gas to run, and eventually you keep driving, you're going to run out of gas and you need to replenish it. We don't wait until the gas tank is completely empty to replenish it. And it's the same with ourselves. We don't want to burn up all our gas. Well, sometimes we gotta stop, fill up the tank, and then we can get going again. So in life, as we're doing things for people, it's okay to pause, take a break, tell somebody no, and pour into yourself. Okay? And thinking back about cars, it's not just gas. Like, cars need oil changes, cars need to be washed, cars need air in their tires. There's so many things that you probably should be doing for yourself so that you're not out here, you know, with bags under your eyes, looking tired, you're cranky, you're depressed, whatever, all because you're overexerting yourself. Now, what I'm not saying is that you need to say no to everybody and that you need to completely focus on yourself. There's people that are on the opposite end of people pleasing, to where they're completely selfish and everything is about them, the world revolves around them. I'm not talking about doing anything like that. We are meant to love and care for one another. I'm talking about when you're overdoing it to the point that you're neglecting yourself. So say yes when you can and say no sometimes, okay? And say yes to yourself. We can't be out here operating with no gas, okay? And if you run out of gas in real life, you know, you can call the tow truck and somebody can eventually take you, you know, to get gas and all that. But we didn't have to get to that point, right? And what that could look like in real life is you being depressed, you know, miserable, whatever. You can get out of that, but you didn't have to get to that point. If you would have paused earlier and did the things you needed to do to take care of yourself, you would have been able to run smoothly. Sometimes when we overly do stuff for people, like when we overly help them, we end up crippling them and it's not good for them. Our intentions are good and we want to be of service to these people, but it can be damaging in the long run. If you give a man some fish, he will eat for a day. But if you teach a man to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. And it's the same with people we interact with. We can help them with something, right? We can give somebody some money, but if they don't know how to manage money, it's just going to become an issue again, right? We want people to be able to be self-sufficient and independent to where they can do things for themselves. When we just do stuff for people, they might be good for that day or for a period of time, but eventually the issue might come back up again. So sometimes overly helping can be more damaging. Whenever we're interacting with people, it's easy to go down rabbit holes and just like start overthinking, like, oh my goodness, I said this to this person, now they probably think this and this, and or like, I think they interpreted that wrong, what if they don't like me anymore? And you just start going through this rabbit hole of thoughts. But when that happens, I encourage you to just pause and think, like, what was my intentions when I did this? Okay, a lot of times our intentions are good. Whether or not our intentions are received well by another person is one thing, but just knowing that you came from a place of goodness, maybe you didn't say what you were trying to say correctly, or maybe somebody interpreted it differently, but know who you are, know your intentions, and if something went wrong, you can try to make it right, but don't dwell on it. Don't let your happiness be dependent on someone else, okay? You need to be comfortable with who you are and be confident in who you are as a person. Remember to not burn yourself out. Treat yourself as if you are a car. Cars need maintenance, they need to be washed, they need fluids changed, they need gas. You gotta pause and do some self-care before you get back out and do things for other people. And the next thing is you want to be true to yourself. You want to be honest with others so that you're not walking around being uncomfortable tiptoeing around somebody, and so that person can grow and learn. And finally, we don't want to cripple people, right? If they need help, we help when we can, but try to give them advice so that they can help themselves. So anyways, that's my little tidbit on people pleasing. I hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments if it was helpful, and good luck to you all on your journey.